Hi, my name is Ashley Forsyth, and I'm the owner of Health and Fitness Meals in Salt Lake City. I have with me today Alesha. Hi, Alesha.
Hi.
Alesha is the owner of Sultry Skin Spa, and basically they offer advanced anti-aging skincare treatments such as, and the screen just went blank, such as microneedling, chemical peels, body contouring, lash extensions, teeth whitening, and more. They do a variety of things to keep you feeling great. And so I've actually used a lot of your services before. I know I've done like facials, teeth whitening, waxing, body contouring, and I've loved all of them. I wish that we were a lot closer still because now I live kind of far away from where your location is. But your location's up in Layton, Utah, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about how you got involved in this line of work and what sparked your interest. Talk about your education and credentials that you put in to get you on track to do what you do.
I always kind of had a passion for skin. I can remember looking at people in the store thinking the ones that had like blemished skin or like bad acne, I always felt bad for them. And I thought there's got to be a way to fix it, So it wasn't really my career path. I used to do accounting and I was in human resources in that line of work. And after I ended up having twin boys and took some time off of work. So that's when I decided to kind of redirect my career path. So I have a passion for interior design as well, just as equal, but I decided I would go for the skincare line. And I went to Fran Brown. It was up here in Layton, Beauty, and finished school there. And I did some advanced laser courses after that as well. So I have been doing skincare for 10 years now. And I know it goes fast. It's been good. It's a very rewarding line to be in, I believe, because you're helping others. So I have my master esthetician license, like I said, some furthering education for some other things with laser, and it just keeps growing. There's lots of things that are coming out on the market to keep up with.
Awesome. So you and I know you because we worked at the same Gold's Gym, and I worked as a personal trainer and I worked in a supplement shop, and you owned the spa that was connected to the gym there at the time. So now you've relocated since then.
Yes.
But we've known each other for a really long time, and we trained for bodybuilding competitions together, and we used to do like 4:30 a.m. cycling classes, and I would sleep over at your house because we'd wake up so early and do our training. But yeah, we've been friends for a long time. So, I mean, I'm really happy to be able to get to interview you and talk with you a little bit about business, because you were a business owner long before I was. And I think that it's people like you that are just really motivating for, you don't really know who's watching you, and makes you feel like, yeah, like I could do that. Like other people I know have been doing that. So thank you for that. Thank you for being that example.
Oh, that's awesome.
So let's see. I wanted to talk specifically about how you made this final leap into working for yourself, because you said you had your twin boys and you obviously had another job. You are a mom, and you know, there's one thing to have a job, a 9 to 5, and have a consistent paycheck, to kind of going off completely on your own and maybe not being completely certain about your income stream. So tell me about your fears and hesitations, and what finally pushed you to build your own business.
You know what? There's definitely a lot of fear in being a small business owner. Everything relies on you. You know, you got to make it or break it. So we're always having to push. I just think that, if it's something that you really want to do, you got to just keep doing it. You're going to go through hard times. You're going to learn. I've had business deals go bad. You know, I've had a lot of stuff that I've had to kind of learn and endure on my own. I do have a mentor that I've always kind of talked to. So with me not having a business degree, you know, and I didn't go to school for this, I just kind of did my research and have done a lot of this all by myself. But to have somebody to go back to that I can kind of, you know, second question if I'm having a question about things has been nice. There's a lot to it. I mean, I guess you can make it as simple as you want, but I guess the underlying thing is try to set yourself up and know what you're doing. I mean, ideally, it's nice to have a second income to fall back on to do this, and I haven't even had that. It's been like pure faith, mostly cash. I try to just budget things and Just be consistent. I think that if you're a good, honest, hardworking person, then things will work out for you.
Okay. Alesha, can I ask for you to like move your head back a lot so your chin is getting cut off with the questions? Okay, thank you. All right. Well, thank you for that. And I mean, I think you are, I mean, right now, I mean, you're a single mom and you're a sole provider, you know, for your 3 kids with your business. And I think what you had to say, a lot of women, a lot of people are like, well, I can't do this because, you know, people rely on me, or what if this or what if that. And I like that what you had to say about if you are a hard worker, you know, then you can make it work. How, I mean, as far as working for yourself, has that really helped you with your schedule and your time with your children?
Ultimately, one of the main decisions that I had when I was getting into this was being self-employed. I could still pick up my kids from school if I needed to, or schedule time off if I needed to help, you know, with extracurricular activities, things like that. So there has been a lot of running around in the past when they were younger, but yeah, I mean, I think even though we have a lot of hardships that can come with being self-employed, there's a lot of perks that come with it too. You know, the freedom of knowing, hey, if I want to take a vacation, I'm just going to go. You know, I don't have a boss. I am the boss. So, yeah, I think that there's definitely the perks with it. You just got to get through the building point and like keep pushing to grow. And I'm still trying to grow, you know, so there's always more to be done, I believe. Goals. You got to hit your goals.
Yeah, business can always grow. There's always room for improvement. And I mean, there's like really no limit as far as expansion. So,
right.
Let's see. So I want to talk about expansion and investment in equipment, because what you do in your line of work, there's a lot of really pricey equipment that you have had to invest in, like the body contouring machine, many others. And I know it's always something that you're kind of like weighing on. So if I spend X amount of money, is it actually going to make my business improve? Am I going to get more customers? Can you tell us a little bit about your decision to invest in some of this expensive equipment, how you weigh the positives and negatives, and how that's turned out for you?
Mm-hmm. I think you just have to forecast out for whatever your particular item is, you know, if it's a service or if it's a product. It makes sense to maybe give yourself a timeline. X amount of treatments a month has to pay this payment, and you got to be able to pay it for so long. You know what I mean? Like if it's in demand, it's more like do your research, and then if you just want it, you got to jump and you got to go for it, because at the end of the day, it's just a risk, you know? So ultimately, just to check around, you got to keep up with what's out on the market and try not to get ripped off. Not everybody's honest. So that again, just make sure that you're doing your research. I've learned that the hard way. I've had a couple business deals go pretty bad where I've just kind of pure faith in people and they've not been honest. And I wish then that I would have gone in and done some more research on them and maybe research the business more and like get your background. Don't allow that to happen, because that's turned me upside down already once. You know, it's part of learning. I don't regret anything. As I keep going in this, it's like I just know more and I'm getting a lot more seasoned in it. So I think experiences take place for us to grow, you know?
Mm-hmm. What was the biggest piece of equipment that you've invested in so far?
Well, I had a laser. I was doing laser hair removal. It's probably been like 5 or 6 years ago now. So I have body contouring machines, and those were $50,000. So that's still a big chunk of money. Those are paid. And getting back into a laser, I actually had gone through a company and they pre-approved me with a loan and everything and gave them a big, again, chunk of money, like $10,000 down. And they came back 9 months later and said that they couldn't finance me, which that was back when things were having a hard time funding and lending, and banks were getting really tight with everything. And, you know, there wasn't anything I could do about it at the time. They just pretty much, they came and picked it up and took the equipment back, which I guess it was kind of a win-win. I'd already given them $10,000, so it's like a monthly payment, but ultimately that's a business fail in my mind, you know? So
you didn't get your $10,000 deposit back?
No.
Oh, no.
So, but I did laser, and with that, that's a treatment that you got to follow through on and continue, or it grows back, you know, because then you have clients that think that you're ripping them off, which is hard. I'm working on that right now as we speak. I've got people back in center on right now, like looking for some equipment for me again. So here goes. We're going back at it, girl, because we can't quit, right? So those lasers, they're like $100,000. They can be anywhere from 80 to like $120,000. So you're talking a big piece of equipment, depending on what I can get into right now. You know what? It's good though. You got to think a laser like that with all the services it can offer, it could be a game changer for me again to be able to do all those things. So, and I need it where I have so much other things I can offer. The last thing that I need is like a pigment removal and hair removal, things like that. Then everybody can come to me for everything. I got everything. So it'll kind of just be the icing on the cake. Plus me hitting my goals again, so we'll see what happens. But those are big pieces of equipment. It's a big commitment to be paying, extra fees on top.
Gosh, that makes me think of, so I have invested in some equipment for health and fitness meals just this last year. We got a whole new convection oven and gas range top so that we could produce faster, like so we could rotate things in the oven faster and cook more quantities of food. And I think, it was nothing like $50,000, but we got the new oven. We also had to pay, what was more expensive was paying for all the installations, like moving things, moving the pipes, getting the new fire extinguishers over the range. So that was almost more expensive than the actual piece of equipment. But for me, thinking about paying for this piece of equipment and calculating how much it was versus how much I was paying in payroll because people were staying longer because things were taking longer to get done. And then also thinking about volumizing, like being able to provide more, in the same amount of time, be more efficient. So those were kind of my costs and benefits when I was thinking about getting a new piece of equipment. And honestly, it was wonderful. It was great. Like I was out a little bit of more money at first, but within like probably 2 pay periods, it was back. It was even, like, we had made up for it. People left 2 hours earlier than they were. And as for my business model, my biggest expense actually is payroll. So anything that I can do to make anything work more efficiently and get people in and out of there faster, that's kind of the, what I look at and weigh as far as if this is a good investment.
Right.
All right. So, and you talked about how you wanted to get more equipment so that your clients don't have a reason to go to anybody else for anything. Mm-hmm. So you want to make sure you can check all their boxes, that they don't need to see you for this, then somebody else for that, and then maybe they like start seeing that person for what you offer.
It just makes it easier because if you're the only person doing all their skincare, then you know everything that's going on with them,
Mm-hmm.
So that, and it's a one-stop shop kind of thing. And that, I know that I'm going to make sure I do a really good job and take good care of them as well. Because lasers, I've had people come in and they have some stuff that's gone wrong, where they've been mistreated and that, and then you're trying to reverse other people's problems.
Yeah, I'm going to show my farm girl side here right now. So all my family is from like rural Ohio, and a lot of my cousins are farmers. And I went out to the farm this summer, and they said that they have hogs. Well, mostly they do cow raising for beef, and they have pigs, they have hogs, and my cousin hates them. He's like, gosh, it's like, I don't want them. They're awful. And they make a mess, and they, get into anything and break anything. And he's like, but you got to have them. I'm not making money off of them. But he's like, you've got to have them so that your customers can go to you and get their pork and their beef, because you don't want them going to other farmer just to get their pork and then being like, I'd rather make one stop and get beef here too. So he says like that's like the hogs of his business. And I was like, oh, I could think of some stuff like that, like that I do. That's like the hog of my business. Like it doesn't benefit me, but it keeps clients around, keeps them somebody else. Right. All right. Okay, so now that we know my rural upbringing, okay, so if you were to have a piece of advice from your experience, and you were going to talk to a woman today who maybe want to start a business, what would your takeaway for them be?
I would say to go for it, absolutely. Just be careful. Make sure you go through your business plan, sit down, write your things up, take your time. I I think that if everything's on paper and it's done the right way, then it's going to follow through a lot better rather than it just being kind of a whirlwind situation. Depending on what it is, do your research as far as surrounding areas, what kind of competition you're looking at, and hopefully that you have somebody that can help you if you don't have, enough knowledge yourself. It's always nice to have a backbone. So, but yeah, absolutely. I think that there's a lot of people that want to do this and they fear it. They stay in their comfort zone. I know out of school with me when I graduated, I think there's like 4 or 5 of us is all that actually have gone through with our career, and all of us actually own our own businesses, which is interesting. And
How
everybody,
many of your friends from high school, you said?
it was from skin school. So
Okay.
Jody, she's got Urban Sanctuary. She's down in Ogden. And then I went with Emily, and she owns, Brows. She does Brows up here in Layton. She has 5 locations. Like, they're all just very successful. But I guess my whole point is the rest of them, they just didn't branch out. They were working a job while they were going to school to try to get into something that they wanted to do. And it was more comfortable to stay in that job because they didn't want to take the risk of a change. They have to take a pay cut or they have to grow a business. And so take the risk. I think that, like, if you're going to do it and you're going into something, you want that, like, you got to follow through. Don't let fear stop you. That's what happened.
That's awesome. All right. So finally, I kind of want to talk about something that I think you do really well in. I've told people before that I was never planned on being a business owner, so I never made a business plan, and that I happened organically, and I got so busy just like meeting a demand for my service that I never really got to sit down and make something like this formal, let's think about expenses, just got thrust into it. So I know you took a lot of time, you had a business mentor, you wrote up a plan. Can you tell us about that experience, and for anybody that's looking to start a business, what a business model consists of?
You guys, there's actually a lot of tools online for some of you guys that don't know. You can just get on utah.gov, and they actually have like a list on there. It prints off, because I didn't know in the beginning. I just started doing my research. It gives you a whole checklist of things for the actual business plan. So you can start putting it together and putting it on there. There's actually so much stuff online if you just search. I mean, obviously you have to have an idea of what you want to do, and it's good to have goals in mind. So if you're going to set yourself maybe a sales goal, or to like forecast something out, by this date, I want to offer this many services, or write things down. When it's on paper, it actually happens. I've learned that. Like, when I have a checklist, I need to sit down and make it and write it and check it off, and you actually will keep getting through it rather than, it's crazy. I have 3 kids, so my life can go in any direction. So, I don't know about, I got lucky having a mentor if you don't have one, but there's literally so much help online. I would say just utah.gov, get on there. There's all kinds of things. There's people that you can call for questions. They can help you go through the checklist, make sure that you can get, all of your licenses in order. And really, it can be time consuming, but there's always going to be somebody there to either get back to you or answer the phone if you guys don't know. Just don't give up.
Okay. If anybody came to you and asked you if you had any time for them to maybe intern, learn from you, or be their mentor, is that something that you're open to? I know I didn't tell you to ask you this.
I'm always happy to help with whatever I can, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, if I can do anything extra and help out, or anybody has a question, for sure. If it's something I know, if I know maybe somebody I can refer them to, sometimes it's more of a point of contact if I can't help. But yeah, I do my best to help with whatever I can. For sure, I'd be open to it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Alesha. All right. Okay, so that is all of the questions that I had for you. So we're on the part where you are going to ask me a question.
Okay. I was thinking, just because things get crazy and we are business owners and there's always a ton of things to do, there's sometimes things that people will do to help keep them grounded, or like when you're overwhelmed and stressed or have way too much going on. Like, what's your go-to? Like, what helps you to kind of recenter and make sure that you can stay on your checklist?
I'm definitely all about going to the gym. That's kind of like my me time. And when I don't make a priority out of it, like I start to feel it. I start to feel like a little bit like I'm going crazy. Like I didn't take the time for me that day. I didn't get to like let out, I don't know, my adrenaline or aggression, or I'm a very physical person. So it's like that physicality of just moving, mind body connection. So yeah, anything, if I'm stressed out, it's usually because I'm not making it to getting my gym time in, which is my me time.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Trying to think of what else I do. I told I really like to be alone. I'm an introvert actually. So I get recharged by being by myself. And I think that people think introverts are shy, or they don't enjoy being around other people or interacting with people, but it's not. It's actually where you get your energy. So if you're an extrovert and you have a long day, you get energy by going out and being with people and doing things. But if you're an introvert and you are out of energy, you need to like recharge by yourself. So I call myself an outgoing introvert, but I really do. I love my alone time. I really like to, I don't know, I really like to uh, I've been doing some kind of self-help book reading things lately, if I can find some time for that. But I don't know, I'll like drink wine by myself is my favorite thing to do. And just like unwind.
Nice. That's good.
Well, thanks, Alesha. I'm so glad that you're able to come on with me today. And thank you for telling us about investing in equipment and writing up a business plan. I think this is going to be really helpful for a lot of people who are looking to get going. So thank you for motivating me, and thank you for coming on here and motivating others.
You are very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Alesha. Bye.
Hey, bye.